If you're a course creator, you know how important it is to receive feedback from your students. Feedback can help you improve your course, make it more engaging, and ensure that your students get the most out of it. In this video, I will share with you some tips on getting feedback from your students. Once I go over how to collect feedback, I'll share when the best time to collect feedback is as well. So tip number 1, create a survey. Creating a survey is an easy and effective way to get feedback from your students. You can use a free software or tool like Google Forms or SurveyMonkey to create a survey with a few questions about various aspects of your course. Make sure to keep the questions short and to the point, and ask your students to rate different aspects of the course on a scale from 1 to 5. You can ask questions like, how satisfied are you with the course content? How engaging are the video lectures? How helpful is the instructor in answering your questions? How easy is it to navigate the course platform? And more. Once you've created the survey, share it with your students via email or in your course platform. Be sure to thank your students for taking the time to provide feedback and let them know how you plan to use their feedback to improve the course. I have a bonus tip that will help this step even more, so make sure you stay to the end to find out the bonus tip. But for now, tip number 2, encourage discussion. Creating a community or private Facebook group is another great way to get feedback from your students. Encourage your students to ask questions, share their thoughts, and provide feedback on different aspects of the course. Make sure to moderate the discussion and respond to your students' questions and comments. By fostering a sense of community among your students, you can get valuable insights into what's working well in your course and what needs some improvement. Tip number 3 is to use feedback forms. In addition to surveys, you can also use feedback forms to gather feedback from your students. Feedback forms can be more targeted than surveys, allowing you to ask more specific questions. You can use a tool like Typeform or Jotform to create a feedback form and embed it in your course platform or email it to your students. Ask questions that allow your students to provide specific feedback on different aspects of the course. For example, what was the most helpful aspect of the course? What could be improved in the course? Were there any technical issues that you experienced while taking the course? Or would you recommend this course to others? A pro tip here is to offer incentives, y'all. Offering incentives is such a great way to motivate your students to provide feedback. You can offer a discount on your next course or a free ebook to students who complete the survey or the feedback form. Of course, other incentives include like an Amazon gift card, always makes people happy, a coffee gift card, a Target gift card, anything that's going to actually bring your students joy. And if you don't want to give away anything monetary, then of course you can also do like a strategy call one-on-one if you don't offer those, or if it's pretty expensive to get those from you. So those are just some examples for you. But either way, whatever you decide to offer, it's going to motivate your students to take the time to provide quality feedback, and it's going to actually ensure that you get a high response rate as well. Make sure to inform your students about the incentives when you share the survey or feedback form, and be sure to also follow through on your promise to provide the incentive. Now that we've covered how to collect feedback, let's discuss when. The best time to get feedback from your students about your online course is during and after the course. During the course, you can gather feedback weekly or bi-weekly to ensure your students are keeping up with the course material and are engaged with the content. This is a great place to use discussion forums, polls, and short surveys to gather feedback during the course. This will help you identify any issues or challenges that your students are facing and allow you time to adjust the course as needed. This is also a great place if you actually want to, host like a Q&A, like a live Q&A if that's not something that you offer within your course or program. Or let's say if you want to just incorporate a different alternative way for people to reach out, this would be a great time to do it. It's actually during them taking the course. If your course is evergreen, it may be a little harder to decide or determine when people are in the middle of your course versus, you know, towards the end. But either way, getting a survey or a feedback form done within the middle of your course will definitely be beneficial. But even when doing all of this, I want you to remember that your students are still people, right? Like, they probably paid for your course or your program. And so we don't want to just shove surveys down their throats all the time in hopes of getting feedback so that way we can update our course. Of course, we want to already start with top tier curriculum to begin with, and then let them give you feedback on what can be adjusted based on where they are, what they need, and all of that good stuff. So a good way to kind of camouflage the fact that you're going to be using this information to update your course is to more so call it like check-in points, if you will. So basically turn it around to make sure that your students feel like they're going to get the most out of filling out this form for you, or this survey. So that's just something to also keep in mind, like just having little check-ins, you know, from their point of view, because it just shows that you care. It shows that, you know, you want them to actually receive the promised transformation that they paid for, and so much more. So of course, I'm saying send these surveys, do the feedback forms, but just keep in mind that you don't have to necessarily title it as a feedback survey or, you know, things like that. You can kind of camouflage it a little bit to just ensure that your students know that you have their best interests at heart, and they'll give you feedback that way. So that's another way to do it if you don't, you know, want to reach out to your students all the time, like feedback, feedback, feedback. So let's talk about another good time to actually send these things out, and that's after the course. Because after the course, you can gather feedback through a more comprehensive survey or feedback form. This will allow your students to provide feedback on the course as a whole and give you a better understanding of what worked well and what could be improved. You can use this feedback to adjust the course content or the structure and delivery for future course iterations, but just keep in mind that you also want to keep that student, the ideal student that you have that this course was created for, in mind. Because just because one student didn't, you know, love the course, that doesn't mean that the whole course needs to be trashed. It just means that that may not have been the best fit for that student, and there's other ways to improve, like your sales page, before they even opt into the course, to ensure that only the perfect students are entering this course, because that's going to ensure that they get the promised transformation that you created this course to provide. So like I said, it's important to note that feedback should be an ongoing process and not a one-time event, because by gathering feedback throughout the course, you can make small adjustments along the way, leading to a better overall learning experience for your students. Additionally, by gathering feedback after the course, you can make more significant changes to improve the course for future students. Getting feedback from your students is essential for improving your course and ensuring that your students get the most out of it. By using surveys, encouraging discussion, using feedback forms, and offering incentives, you can gather valuable feedback from your students and improve your course or program. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more course and program creation tips. Until the next video, bye!